We have come to the end of Blue Monday. Did you make it through without quitting or did you give up? I want to ask you something. Are you on the edge? Are you on the edge of giving up? See, today is Blue Monday, and it is marked as the day that many people give up the resolutions they set on January 1st. Now, January 1st, whether you realize it or not, was International No Excuse Day. It was the first of the year, it was the first of the month, it was the first of the week, it was a Monday, it was the first, it was the beginning of the year, it was everything you ever needed. It was someday. Someday finally came, and it was on January 1st. And maybe you set a resolution, maybe you set a goal, what we call a presidential lifestyle, a target. Maybe you did this. And now 3 weeks in, you're like, maybe not. Or maybe there's another reason. And I'm going to share with you that reason. Now, actually, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why people typically give up. Not today, though. Today, I'm only sharing with you one reason. And the number one reason people give up, number one, is loneliness. Loneliness is the number one reason people come to me for self-sync therapy because they are ready to give up. Give it all up. They're like, damn it all to hell. I cannot do this anymore. But then they're so strong. They're so capable. They are such a high achiever that they can't give up, but they're so tired because they feel lonely. Is that you? Have you ever felt that lonely feeling when it comes to pursuing your goals, hitting your targets, achieving peak performance? Let me ask you something else. See, what I find is that there are a lot of emotions that go with being at peak performance. However, you sometimes have to suppress those emotions so that you can push through and make it as far as you need to go. Now, where do those emotions come from? Typically, they come from the outside. A lot of times, they're not your own emotions. I know, I just gave you something. That's the nugget. Take it, write it down. It's not your own emotion. It is what's going on with your family. It's what's going on with the world, the state of your community, your ethnicity. It is your children, your spouse, all of these people piling all of these problems on top of you when all you want to do is get to peak performance. And those, if you're honest, are distractions because left to your own devices, you can handle your own stuff. It's all those other people's stuff that bring you down. Am I right? I know. So if you like, go ahead and comment yes if you agree with me. If you don't, say nothing. But if you agree that it's everybody else's problems piled on top of you that make you feel like life is heavy, then say yes in the comments. What if you're listening to this and it's just audio, then just say yes out loud. Just say yes. All right, there you go. We agree. I'm so glad we had this conversation, but we're not done yet. So keep listening. You need to recognize the signs of loneliness, that the signs that make you want to quit, because if you let them come all the way on, like if you just don't recognize them and they just keep coming on every day and every day, it's going to get so heavy that you're not going to actually want to quit. You're not even going to know. You're just going to go numb. You're not even going to know that you feel anything. And when you go numb, the universe will shut you down. And that lonely, numb feeling is worse than the anxiousness and the other stuff that you feel. That lonely, numb feeling, that is why people come to me. They're like, I feel nothing. I feel nothing. And I don't want to feel nothing. What is wrong with me? Sometimes they think it's something wrong with them. There's not anything wrong with them. That is their brain protecting them. Your brain has one job. Well, it has two. it has two objectives. But the number one job that it has, and the reason why it does the second thing, is to keep you alive. Now, the second thing that it does is to seek connection. Why does it seek connection? Because it makes keeping you alive a lot easier if you are in a tribe. But when you are in a tribe and you are achieving peak performance or pursuing peak performance, one of the things that happens is that those other people who are usually just about average, right? All men are created equally, is what they say. And what they really mean is that most people are created kind of average until you like discover your thing. Now you have discovered your thing. And so where most stay average and ordinary, you have evolved into extraordinary. And if you want to continue to evolve, then you're going to have to isolate yourself. But that isolation doesn't feel good, but it's necessary. So I'm asking you to be aware of this isolation, to accept this isolation, and to adjust your life so that you can separate yourself from the distractions that are keeping you from getting to peak performance. Now, I know it feels lonely, but you are not alone. You don't have to do it by yourself. In fact, I'm looking forward to working with you because somebody like you, somebody who has dedicated their life to peak performance, somebody who has said, I'm going to reach my full financial potential, whatever that is, that's the type of person that I love working with. That's the type of person that self-sync therapy is perfect for. So there's this responsibility that you feel like you have. And part of that responsibility is to take care of the people around you. And in taking care of them, sometimes you'll have to isolate yourself from them. I know it sounds counterintuitive and it sounds like you don't care. And sometimes that's how they make you feel, right? Or they make you feel like you think you're better than them. You don't think you're better than them. You're just striving for perfection. You are striving for peak performance and they're not. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is fine. Whatever they want for their lives is good. Whatever you want for your life is good. You have to be able to articulate that to them. Hey, this is what I'm striving for. And whatever you're striving for, I want that for you. But I've got to do this over here, which sometimes separates me from you. And we both have to be okay with that because I've carved out this amount of time over here for you. But the rest of this time over here, this is for me and my peak performance. And that's a conversation that you're going to have to have. And if you haven't had these conversations, it's time. So that's just a little nugget, let's call it that, a little nugget that I want to drop for you because I know what it feels like to be alone. Why? One, because of my own journey, my own quest for success. But two, because that's the type of clients I work with on a daily basis. And if you'd like to be one of those clients that I work with, I'd love to meet you. Now, what I mean by that is you and I can determine if we can work together successfully if we have one session. Now, I do something in my practice where there's a 5-step process. And the first step in that process is where you and I get together and we create some clarity along your path. Now, if we do a great job in that session, then we decide to continue to work together. But if we decide that we can't work together successfully, then I'll give you research and referrals of where else you could go to get what you're looking for. But 9 times out of 10, if you, one, are seeking to achieve peak performance, I know I can help you. If you're an athlete, if you're an investor, if you are a CEO, if you are a high achiever, let's just say that, let's just wrap that up in a bow. If you are a high achiever, I can help you achieve everything you want in life. There is nothing that you're going to put out on the table that I'm going to tell you is not possible. You know why? Because if you desire it, you deserve it, and you can create it. You can create it. You're not smarter than the universe. So if you came up with it, it's possible. Serena Williams didn't know she was going to win 23 Grand Slams, but she knew she was capable of it. She didn't know the number, but she knew it had to happen. When she was 4, 5, 6, whatever years old, in her brain, she knew that whatever she wanted to achieve, she could. And that is the kind of conviction you need to have about getting to peak performance. And the only thing that's getting in the way right now is your loneliness. You feel lonely, which makes you feel like you need to go and connect with people who can't get you to your peak performance. In fact, they distract you. And so, what do you need to do? You need to work with someone who can get you to peak performance. Work with someone who can help you understand how you isolate yourself without feeling lonely. Because there's an art to it, almost a science, but not exactly. And the reason why it's not a science is because it's specific to you. Everybody's formula is slightly different. Now, there's a framework. And like I said, there's a step-by-step process, but the recipe is different. You know how like your grandmother's chicken noodle soup doesn't taste exactly like Campbell's, but you like both, right? Your grandmother's lasagna doesn't taste exactly like, I don't know, Maggiano's, but there's something so very unique about your grandmother's lasagna. There's something so very je ne sais quoi, right? Like you don't know what it is. It's just this certain something. Well, you've got that certain something and you've got to keep it. But if you are tainted by other people's problems because you don't want to be alone, so you take on that so you can have the connection, it's going to keep you from peak performance. And that is the reason why you want to quit. But I'm going to wrap this up now because I feel like you've got an idea whether you and I should work together, and even if we could work together successfully. So I'd like to meet you so I can make that decision too. But I want to say this: you got it. So keep going. Today is Blue Monday, and it's the day that many people abandon their resolutions, but you don't have to. You might have thought you were. It's towards the end of the day, and you might have said, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go and eat that thing that I usually don't eat, or I'm not supposed to eat, or I'm going to hang out with that person, or I'm going to stop doing that thing. I'm saying, keep going. You got this. You are not alone. I am here with you. And together, we can get you to peak performance and your full financial potential. What are you going to do? You're going to click the link in the description of this video, and you and I are going to determine if we can work together successfully. But even just the one session that we would have together will give you the clarity you're looking for. And nothing feels better than clarity. Okay, yes, that. But that can help you get some more clarity, right? Nothing feels better than clarity. Don't be confused by fleeting pleasures. Clarity is the fulfillment that you need, and it's going to take you to your peak performance so you can unleash your full financial potential, because I know that's what you want. So let's go get it. Are you ready? Then look for the link in the description of this video, and let's you and I get together and talk. I want to know what's keeping you up at night. What's making you want to quit? Because you need to keep going. The world needs that certain something that only you have. So let's give it to them.